Hey, what's up? Good morning, everybody. Thanks for clicking on the video. This is David Pendleton, and now we're going to be covering the Bubba's 9-hole cup tournament. So here we are. It's another tournament. It feels like we played 400 of these things in a row. But you know what? I woke up today and I saw that Golf Clash had released a new ball pack. It's a Power 5 side spin 2 wind resistance 3 ball. Now, taking a look at this tournament that we're getting ready to play, it's no coincidence that they released a W3 P5 ball because we are in for a challenging course. I'm going to go over all the replays with you. I've got some really nice shots that I did not make, but I do believe that with some very minor tweaks, you'll be able to knock some of these balls into the cup and qualify at the top of your bracket, which is going to be super important because I think we're going to see a lot of ties. All right, if you are not a subscriber, please become one. It would be awesome. It would mean a lot to me. And secondly, if you find my videos helpful, please take a moment there just to hit that thumbs up and give it a like. Let's go. Hole number 1. We're going right out of the gate, going with the Berserker. Now, I'm just going to say you don't have to play the Berserker if you don't want to. We're coming off a Golden Shot week. Everybody knows I load up on Berserkers during the Golden Shot week. It is a free-to-play ball, and I do believe it gives us the best advantage on hole number 1 to drop a kind of tricky eagle, to be honest with you. You could definitely go over the rough here with a Titan ball. You know, remember, we are getting tailwind, so we would want to use a P3 ball with the least amount of wind resistance as possible, okay? Now, if you're not comfortable going that route, I don't have 2 ways to show you, but what I can show you is, you see my opponent's little icon up there? You can definitely drive that part of the fairway and just give you, a sniper shot towards pin. I don't like going that way. I like to gamble a little bit, make tournaments a little bit fun, and just go for it. So here I'm going to adjust my elevation, all right? Now, the one thing that I should have done right now is I should have gone and pushed back up to max. So after I adjusted my rings, I should have then moved the camera around right here and just pushed my target all the way up as far as it can go. That way I get more distance on my drive. Now you see here I went with barely any overpower. And I could have even gone with more overpower. But, the most important thing is we want to make sure we land on the fairway and we don't accidentally hit a bad shot into the sand traps. But regardless, we do need to push this drive harder. You can see here I have a ton of fairway to work with. We need to maximize the distance on this drive and just launch the ball up the fairway. Because look at this crappy shot right here. Obviously I wanted to be in thorn range. I was surprised that I wasn't. Rough bump is out of the equation. Obviously what I wanted to do was take that shot with my thorn with a couple of bars of backspin and go right at the pin, but I couldn't do that. So I'm showing you the shot with the Goliath here. Now here, ultimately, I don't hit a perfect ball. I hit a great ball, so that's no good. But that's okay. We got perfect shots coming up. All right, so this is going to be hole number 2. Hole number 2, typically a pretty tough hole in 1 just because of, it's hard to dial something in when you're not allowed to anymore. But this one's going to be really close because I'm going to show you what I'm looking at here for the ball guideline setup. Notice that my white ring, the left hand of my white ring is on the rough line. Now, from there, take a look at my first bounce onto the green. You notice how my first bounce on the green is in that vertical of dark green rows. Kind of like this, see? That's what I mean. Left side of my white ring is on the rough. That's my first bounce on green. It's right in the middle of that dark green row. Now from here, I'm adjusting 10% at mid. And take a look at the curl. I'm using just enough curl to where my ball breaks the target zone right there. So barely right hand curl, but the ball breaks the target zone. It's pretty stinking close. So what can you do? Well, we could try to completely eliminate the curl. We could play that shot with no curl and see what happens with the exact same landing spot. Or if you wanted to duplicate everything I did, so the side spin, the landing spot, and the curl, what we would need to do is move this target over a little bit to the left. So instead of being in the middle of that dark green vertical row, we would want to move it over to the left-hand side of the dark green row and see where that ball comes in. Very, very close for you to tweak. I know a lot of people are going to get that ball in the hole that are watching. All right. Now, I'll tell you about hole number 3 here. Hole number 3 is extremely long. I played it with a Kingmaker because of the headwind. And you might be wondering about playing this hole with a Berserker. Here we're not adjusting any elevation. We're just going with max overpower, as much topspin as possible, and we are trying to get as much distance as possible. Now, as far as playing this with a P5 ball, the only benefit you're going to have if you have a P5 ball is if you're someone who's willing to play with a money ball on a rookie tournament. For example, the new Bubba ball would be a great ball for this hole. You see the coincidence there with the game? So, and the reason that it would be way better than a Kingmaker is because you're going to get 2 more stats of wind resistance. So if I was using a Bubba ball on this hole, I would have got the same 2.7 mile per hour wind. If I'm using a Berserker, I'm going to get over 4 mile per hour headwind. Therefore, the distance on my drive from a Kingmaker to a Berserker is going to be about the same. And the reason that I know that is because I played my other account with a Berserker, and I only got 6 more yards on the drive. So it is, in my opinion, not worth playing with a Berserker unless you are going to be playing with a money ball, okay, like the Bubba ball. Here's my second shot. As you can see here, with the Kingmaker and the Sniper, I'm not able to make it over the rough area, so I have to use this little fairway, like this round fairway patch, to propel myself onto the next fairway. Pretty simple as far as that goes. Now, if you do play with the Power 5 ball, you could have your big dog here and try to get your ball onto the green. And in my opinion, the best way to do that is to go this way. Or you can try to go this way, but I always find this way the easiest to get there, which we've done in previous tournaments. Now this is not this is not a good position to be in when you're trying to hit these shots for an eagle on a par 5. But that's just kind of the way this hole plays. Lots and lots of people are going to be picking up birdies on this hole, so don't worry if it happens to you. But let me show you 2 makes. I did pick this up on both my accounts. Here you're going to notice we're going with a full backspin approach with a sliver of side spin to the left. We get that perfect ball. And that ball drops in dead center for the eagle, okay? And I played that 10% at mid. Same thing here. I'm going to play it 10% at mid. Now, you might be asking, why am I playing it mid whenever I'm clearly at minimum distance of my Sniper? It's because of the headwind. With the headwind, I add a little bit of extra adjustment to my shot. You'll see here, same thing. Full back, a sliver of left side spin. Perfect ball. These balls drop dead center to pick up the eagle. So it's a good consistent shot, but I just know that shot's going to scare a lot of people. But that one's going to be necessary for a lot of people to pick up the eagle on that hole. Okay, hole number 4, 10% at max. This is going to be 4 bars of top spin, 1 bar of right side spin. 4 top, 1 right with a katana. Same thing here on the curl. Notice here how I got the right edge on my ball touching the target zone. So a little bit of curl, baby curl. This one I'm playing 10% elevation, and the reason that I'm not saying if I'm playing it mid, medium, or max is because depending on your club level and how many yards you get on your drive, you might be playing this with a sniper, you might be playing this with your Goliath, you might be playing it with the backbone. You need to move your club around to figure out if you're at minimum, medium, or max, or somewhere in between. That's going to be very important on this hole. But for me, I'm at max distance for sure. You can see I'm at the plus yardage of my Goliath. So I'm at max. I am playing this with 1 bar of side spin to the left, which I think is crucial for this shot, with about 1.8 bars of top spin. You can see there I've got the ball guide line going through the hole, through the middle of the hole. Like I said, I pulled mine 10% at max. Super, super close. The only thing that I would change here is I would offset this one to the left-hand side of the cup. I put my ball guide line corner pocket, left-hand side of the cup, and see if we can get that one to drop, okay? The shot that you're going to see here, I'm playing 10% at max. I would like you to probably play at 15%. And maybe even a katana ball would work better for this hole. But we can easily play it with the navigator. I just feel like if we don't add that extra 5%, a lot of us are going to miss to the left-hand side, which is going to be dependent on your wind strength. That's why I feel that way. Now you're going to notice here, this is 10% at max with a perfect ball. And we come into the left-hand side and hot. And that's only with 3-something mile per hour wind. I would like to change this to 15% at max distance and, you know, tweak that shot a little bit. So let's rewind it for just a moment here. You're going to notice here 1 bar of right, 1 back. I think we need to go like maybe 1.3 back and keep that 1 right, because it came in a little bit hot, but it would have easily gone in the cup if it would have been dead center. All right, we're going to go with the slice here with the quarterback. This is going to be full top, full left, and that's what I always look for in this hole. You can go back to many tournaments that I've played on this one. I tell you, I want your ball guide line to look like that. I want your ball to ricochet off that tree to where that red end of the ball guide line is pointing to the left-hand side there. So that's our setup spot. Blue ball guide line smoking the left-hand side of the tree, and then with the red ball guide line pointing to the left, just like that. You'll notice here I've got my white ring up on the top of the rough line there. Okay, here we're going with the slice, but it is not a max OP slice. There is some overpower, but it's full right curl. So you might need to rewind that and take a look at that shot. But you'll see this ball comes in super nice, rolls down the fairway, giving us a really good line for the albatross opportunity. Now, I'm playing this one 10% at mid. You're going to notice here, we're going to need the Goliath to execute the rough bump because of the top spin. You'll need a good level Goliath too to get that ball guide line. If you're not comfortable with this shot, that's okay. Go ahead and just lay up or try to take the best shot that you can for an albatross. For me, this is the best way for me to try to pick up the albatross. But from here, you could easily lay up and get yourself an eagle. And believe it or not, there will be a good handful of people who are going to end up birdieing this hole. This is another one we leave right at the pin. So if we kind of take a look at what I've done here. And here's ultimately what happens to me. This is my mistake. Ball guide line pointing to the hole. That's great. I use half a bar of right side spin. Okay. That's all the mistake was the side spin. So we should have just played this one straight up at the hole with the top spin. And that ball might have gone in the hole for the albatross. But regardless, you know, it's always nice to have perfect shots to show you so that you can tweak these for your own play style. Okay, we're going to go 10% at mid with another rough bump. I can already hear a couple of people thinking, oh my gosh, all these rough bumps. Like, I know But, the key is to get better at them, because as you progress through the game, you're going to really need to execute these. Here we go. We are playing this one at mid-distance of our driver. It wouldn't really matter if you played it at mid or max on rookie. You're going to be talking about 0.1, 0.2 difference on ring pulls. But just for accuracy purposes, I do pull this at mid-distance with 3 bars of topspin. And then this one is a little bit of a tricky rough bump, just because of ball guideline purposes. This one is really easy to hit the rough. You have so much rough to work with. If you're not a good rough bump player, this is a good one to practice on, because you have a mile here to work. Now, don't pay attention to the ball guideline going way down the hill like that. The ball doesn't typically come in that hot, but we are going with 2 bars of side spin to the right with no top or no side spin. Here, it's hard to tell, but it does appear that I have the ball guideline favoring the left-hand side of the pin. Yeah, definitely favoring the left-hand side of the pin. This is not intentional. Just as I was playing, I was having a hard time engaging it. And now, obviously, it's a lot easier to take a look whenever I can go slow-mo on a replay. But look at that. I mean, who knows what would have happened if I had been aiming dead center, or maybe even offset a little bit to the right instead of the left. That is very, very close to, again, what is a more difficult eagle on the course. But, we come close, and I think it gives you a good opportunity to kind of take a look at what's going on there. All right, get your rocket out. When's the last time we played with a rocket? On rookie, this is how I normally play this shot. I've had great success with this shot, especially back on the old format when we could dial in shots and try to pick up the hole-in-ones. But regardless, let's take a look at this one. We're going to get the rocket. And you know why I like this shot? Because a lot of people struggle to make it over these 2 sand bunkers and to avoid the rough on the right-hand side. This is an easy approach. That's going to help you for sure get the birdie, because I saw one opponent drive the sand. It's going to happen to people. There's no way you're driving the sand going with this shot. But take a look at what I'm trying to do here. Notice my ball guideline, okay? It's in that dark green row. Dark green row, the same row the pin is in, but the pin is high on the dark green row. My ball guideline is low on the dark green row. This is max backspin, 1 right side spin. 10% at minimum. No curl. Now, perfect ball. And this is what we need to take a look at. Where does the ball come in at? It comes in behind the pin. So that's kind of weird, right? Because I aimed lower than the pin. So there's 2 things we could do here. We could change our pull angle, which on rookie I'm really not going to go into on this hole. But what we can do now, maybe we just need to aim lower, right? Because maybe we actually need to aim half a green square lower than what we're aiming here to try to get that ball to drop. Anyways, it's not an easy hole-in-one, but it's there, right? It's definitely there. All right, hole number 9. This is another super-duper long par 5. We're going to go with Big Topper and a Berserker. We're going to try to launch this ball as far up the second fairway as possible. No elevation. We're going to use some overpower. Make sure you bring your big dog. Make sure you bring your Cataclysm, whatever club you like to use, because we are going to need it. Now, everybody, this is a tough tournament. Don't get discouraged if you don't have a great round today. Remember, you always have tomorrow to qualify as well. Now, that'd be cutting it short as you only get 2 days, but don't get down in the dumps if you had a bad round, because you got tomorrow. And sometimes your second look at a course is really helpful. If you're not a subscriber, please become one. Please hit that thumbs up button. That would be awesome. Here's our big dog shot. You can see, with the big dog, remember, we don't have that great of a ball guideline. I'm going with 2 bars of left side spin combined with about 3.5 bars of top spin. What we don't want to do is hit this ball so hard that we run off the back left-hand side of the green. You see how this green has a significant slope downhill on the left-hand side? We don't want to catch that and roll down. But here I could have gone with a little bit more top spin as I come up a little bit short. I mean, I'm still on the fringe. Obviously, this is a very simple chip in for eagle. But we could have pushed this one a little bit harder if we wanted to. Hey, best of luck, everybody. Let me know how you do in the comments, and I will work on pro a little bit later. Thanks.